pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ms. Gosselin, roll call, please.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Here.
Mr. Diggy?
Here.
Mr. O'Hare?
Here.
Mr. Espinola?
Here.
Mr. Booton?
I'm here.
Mr. Bahu?
Here. Okay, Mr. Lemay, is anybody signed up for public appearance?
No, Mr. Chairman, no one signed in.
Okay, thank you very much. Next is school committee communications. I got a thank you card from Mr. George Garabedian to the school committee for all of our support over his past number of years that he worked here. And he just wanted to offer his thanks towards everybody and all previous school committees as well. Okay, a report of the student representative.
Hello, everyone. The Business Professionals of America attended their leadership and planning meeting for their Fall State Leadership Conference on Tuesday, November 9th. The freshman and sophomore class hosted their first annual community spaghetti dinner on November 10th. They served over 200 students, families, and staff members. Students from both classes stayed after to help set up, serve food, and clean up. They are looking forward to hosting the event again next year. The Greater Lowell Pep Rally is scheduled for Wednesday, November 25th in the gymnasium during periods 1 through 4. We are planning on a performance from our cheerleading team and breakdancing team. We will also host our annual student versus staff basketball game. Student Council has planned our Greater Lowell Spirit Week for November 19th through November 25th. Spirit days include Thursday, November 19th, Boston Sports Day, Friday, November 20th, Patriotic/America Day. Monday, November 23rd is Superhero Day. Tuesday, November 24th is Color Day. The freshmen will be wearing green, sophomores yellow, juniors red, and seniors blue. Wednesday, November 25th is Griffin Pride Day, which we will be wearing blue and gold. Student Council is planning to attend the MIAA-sponsored Harbor Teenage Leadership Conference on November 18th at the Hanover Theater for Performing Arts. The Junior-Senior Harvest Dance will take place on November 20th from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the cafeteria. Tickets are on sale for $5. Skills USA students are planning to attend their Fall State Leadership Conference from November 22nd to the 24th, where they will participate in leadership workshops and activities to help members learn skills and tools which they can bring back to their chapter. On Saturday, November 28th, Greater Lowell will be participating in Lowell's City of Lights Parade on Jackson Street, where we will unveil our students' designed and created a parade float. The parade starts at 4:30 p.m., starting on Jackson Street and ending at City Hall. Greater Lowell's breakdancing team is planning a performance for the World AIDS Day event at the Lowell Community Health Center on Tuesday, December 1st. Their performance is scheduled to start at 7:40 on the 6th floor. The varsity football is continuing a tremendous season, checking at 7-3 and qualifying for the MIAA North Sectional Final on November 13th. Despite falling to a very tough St. Mary's team, it is still a tremendous achievement. The team will look to capture the Collins Cup on Thanksgiving Day against traditional rival Shawsheen. Varsity boys soccer qualified for the MIAA D2 tourney for a third straight season. Girls soccer finished their season on a high note, picking up a non-league win over Lawrence High School on October 28th. Varsity girls volleyball qualified for the D2 tourney for a fourth straight year with a win over Lawrence High School on October 28th. The cross-country teams both ran strong all fall, with the boys team capturing their third CAC League crown in 4 seasons on October 31st. This followed an undefeated regular season for the boys, which included some big wins over league rival Greater Lawrence, as well as non-league wins over Somerville High School. They also brought home a third state vocational championship in 4 seasons on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Great report. Okay, moving along, if we could have the approval of minutes for October 15, 2015. Motion by Mr. Moran, second by Mr. O'Hare. Roll call?
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Okay, and if we could have a motion for the approval of minutes for October 29, 2015. Motion by Mr. Tatsias, second by Mr. Booton.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias? Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Okay, now a report of our warrants. If we could have a motion to approve the expenditures of $4,770,547.16.
So moved to waive the reading.
Move to waive the reading by Mr. Moran, second by Mr. Booton. Roll call?
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias? Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Okay. And a motion to approve the 4 million. Motion by Mr. Booton, second by Mr. Moran.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Okay, there's no report of our general counsel tonight. And before we have our report of the superintendent director, I think we should have a roll call to go into executive session to discuss contracts. Motion by Mr. Tatsias, second by Mr. Booton.
I was gonna motion to do it at the end of the meeting.
Okay, we can do it right now. We can do it right now.
Motion to have it at the executive session at the end of the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I'll motion to have it at the end of the meeting, the executive session at the end of the meeting.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. And now the report of our superintendent director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're very, very fortunate tonight that we have some very special guests with us. The first of which I'd like to introduce. We have a young man who was a graduate of the class of 2015. Unfortunately, he met all the requirements of the school district, but he didn't meet the requirements of the state competency determination. To his credit, he has worked very hard. He has now met the requirements of the state with regards to competency determination, and it gives me great pleasure to invite Anthony Previty up here to receive his diploma. Anthony?
Congratulations.
Congratulations, great work. Very quick work. You're very welcome. Way to stick it out, Anthony.
As you know, from time to time, we have we're delighted to have some students visit with us. We've had our Skills USA kids visit with us, I think the last meeting, National Technical Honor Society kids. Tonight, I've asked Mr. White to be here tonight, along with some of his coaches and the captains. We just had an extremely successful fall season. More important to me, it's not so much about the wins and losses, it's being able to see young adults out there having a good time, and committed coaches ensuring that the success of the program is measured by the happiness of the student participants and the experience that they have to remember for the rest of their lives. And so I'm very proud to introduce Mr. White. He's going to introduce our guests. By I'd just like to point out that through the efforts of Mr. White and the efforts of these coaches, just in a short 3-year period, the number of participants in fall sports has increased by 270 students. So that speaks volumes of the quality of our coaches and the quality of our ED. So Mr. White, I'll turn it over to you.
Nobody wants to be first.
Right in here, guys. Very good. All right, thank you, Mr. Bourgeois. Thank you, school committee, for having us. We appreciate it. We did have a great fall. Like Mr. Bourgeois talked about, we had over 460 kids come out this fall and try out for a team. So that's a very large percentage of our student population, which is pretty good. We had a great, like I said, wins and losses, that's great, but it's more about, the number of kids getting the opportunity to do something, which was great. And then we're lucky enough to have some. I know you get the update every time you do it. I try to send something in so you can kind of hear about the things, but it's good sometimes to put some faces to it, so you can see what, what these kids are doing. We have some members of our cheer team. We have 2 of our seniors, captains, Tori McGeckern and Diana Kutu, are here. They still have one, they still have a big performance on Wednesday at the pep rally coming up, so that'll be good. And then Thanksgiving, and then they'll be prepared for the winter competition, hopefully, and then we'll be good to go. Girls soccer, they had almost 60 girls try out, which is, Coach Martin is also here. He's told me every year in the last couple of years, his numbers have really gone up, hopefully enough. Maybe we can justify adding a freshman or another team sometime, because our numbers are getting so high. Some conversation for another time. But again, so that was great. And then we have 2 seniors, Jamie Overy and Joni Hill, here from the team. Girls volleyball, like you said, first year coach DeFilippo was here coaching the girls. She's coached our boys for a number of years. It's her first year doing the girls here after a long time at Chelmsford High. She did a great job and got them into the tournament, kept that going. It's, I think, 4 or 5 years in a row they've made the tournament, so good job. And from the team, we have Julie McFadden. She's a junior. Cross country had an unbelievable season, like was referenced in the letter there. They had the girls ran strong all fall, and also the boys undefeated, league, non-league, just across the board, never lost a race. So that's pretty awesome. They swept the league meet, and they also swept the state vocational meet, which was amazing. I think we had like 3 of the top 7 finishers or something like that in the meet. So that's pretty impressive, and they did a great job. So from that team, we have Kate Dion and Will Pagan. In addition, I believe, I just found out, I didn't know this, I probably should have known this. I guess Kate is either right up around the top of the class as well for the senior class. So she's at least in the top 2 or 3. So she's very accomplished athlete as well as a student, which is also important. And then we also, obviously, we had some other teams that had some players that couldn't make it, but we want to recognize them as well. Our boys soccer team, like was mentioned, they made the tournament, as well as our football team, making it all the way to the sectional final, which was huge. And then they have one more big game coming up on Thursday. Hopefully we can, first time doing a lot of things this season in a long time, so hopefully we can bring the Collins Cup back for the first time in a while on Thanksgiving Day. It would be great. What's that? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Libby Offen. I didn't even see it. Libby Offen. She's a first-year coach.
Looks like one of the kids.
Yeah, no, that's why. The Bruin shirt threw me off. Honestly, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it was a Bruin shirt. And I saw her when she came in. Libby Offen did a great job under tough circumstances this year. Obviously, we lost our longtime coach, Mr. Kent. Great man and a great coach. And she came in, and we didn't skip a beat, obviously, and did a wonderful job. So we appreciate that, too, Ms. Offen. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mark. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming. This isn't easy, right?
This is fantastic. I know you've been here all day and now you're
First, I saw you.
Plus, we had a late night last night, sports night.
Good job. You know, you're working hard, it shows. Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks, congratulations. Thanks for you guys. You like to go the other way, don't you? Yeah, good job. Congratulations. Good job. Very school proud.
Good job, everybody.
Anyway, congrats.
He always does. She's silly.
No, sorry.
I always wanted
Oh, no,
to
we're
be,
losing chairs here, musical chairs.
I always wanted to be a
Sit
school,
behind the chairman? I
I
don't know.
always wanted to be a school committee member.
5 years when you retire, you can.
Seven.
Say that at the end of the night.
Good point. That is amazing. So we have double the amount of kids this year than we did
Yeah, we
3 years ago. That's phenomenal.
and you're seeing more success because of it too.
Absolutely.
Right, 460 kids to go out for winter, or for fall sports is a big number. Really, it's 25% of our overall student body.
We were at about 240
When you first got here,
years ago. Well, even before. Yeah, I got here, I was here for the last two increases.
how many kids are actually on teams?
The 460.
The whole 460. And I heard a little push by Mark there saying, you know, let's get a second soccer team going.
With the more kids, rather than cut kids. in half,
Absolutely.
We're gonna try and.
Give them the opportunity to play. Sure,
We wanna have freshmen, JV, and varsity at all the levels.
awesome.
Right?
Okay, you can keep moving.
Kids are great.
Kristen was here, but we ran over.
The next item on.
Fun left.
Motion to adjourn.
The next item on my report is to introduce you to new administrator. So Kristen Fody is here. I'll just have her come up for a second. Probably about a month or so ago, Kristen started as our new Director of Media, Social Studies, History, and Professional Development, so Media Library Center. Kristen comes to us after having served for 9 years as a school librarian, various schools, grades K through 12. Prior to that, she spent 5 years at Simmons College. She was the manager of their infotech department. Kristen comes to us with a bachelor's degree in English with a minor in history from Northeastern University. She also has a master's from Simmons in library science and advanced certificates as a library teacher and in instructional technology. So she's quickly adapted and found her way around the building, and she's doing a great job, and we're very happy to have her join our staff. So welcome, Kristen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. I'm happy for the opportunity. I feel very privileged. I love the school, and it's very exciting.
We're always very excited to put a name to put a face to the name. So, you know, we appreciate that you came here and
Thank you.
took some extra time out of your day. And,
Thank
you know,
you.
we look forward to seeing these, you know, great things that you can do with our students and, you know, keep our progression moving forward towards their education.
We have wonderful students, so it's going to be an easier job, I think.
Mr. O'Hare.
I just want to let you know I return my books on time. all the
Thank you.
time, all right?
Thank you. Because we have a list that way, yeah.
That list is as tattered as he is.
Excuse me, did Mr.
I'm on
O'Hare
that
say he's
list, don't worry.
taking
Librarians are
books out of the
terrible
school?
clients of
On the
libraries.
record?
They make a movie about a list once, but that's another story.
Welcome to
Not
the
a-
team.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
Mr. Bourgeois, yeah, I just want to interrupt for a second. We have some major changes in the school and administrators and teachers, which is very good. They're all, from what I understand, everything is good. But I'm just asking, maybe you could produce a new organizational table for us.
Sure.
I know you've sent information on who's who, but
Yep.
if we could have I think our last organizational table is maybe 12 years old.
So there's one in your budget book every year. So it gets updated every year. It's one of the tabs in your budget book. But I'll be more than happy to, we're going to be updating it anyway because the budget, we're going to start working on the FY17. So
Right, great.
more than happy to get that to you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
We're on the bottom, George.
My pleasure. Next item on my report is just the monthly co-op report. Things are tracking very well. Right now, we're at a 5% increase over the same point in time last year. We got 169 senior students out working. As of the last day of October, that number's even increased since then, between that time and this meeting. So that's 36% of our senior class. So our students and our teachers are doing some amazing work with regard to increasing the number of kids that get a chance to benefit from that valuable opportunity. Next item on my report.
Excuse me, Mr. Superintendent, through the chair, if I may, I'd like to bring up something about an article that was recently in the local newspaper about a young lady. I made some handouts to be passed around.
Is that Stella?
This young lady that, oh, it is, I'm sorry. You stole my, whatever, but I already stole yours, but
No, go ahead.
that I read that article, and I thought it was great that she started out and she, started out in a different area, and then she advanced so well that she got recognition from someone, a patron that had been at an event there, and that I just thought that she should get some special recognition for that.
No, thank you very much, Mr.
It's part of the student.
This was the young lady that's at Stonehenge on co-op currently, so she's
Right.
one of the 169 students.
Right.
Now, in addition to this, there was a blurb in the
No,
paper.
I didn't see it.
There was an award for an employee at Lowell 5. I think it was Make a Difference Award for employee excellence. And the young lady was a past graduate who had gone to the Lowell 5 on co-op and is continuing to work at the Lowell 5 while she's pursuing her degree at UMass Lowell. So I know I tweeted it out when I came across it, but I'll get a copy of it off to you so
Was
you
it
can
now?
see. Stella Loth, I believe her name was.
Yeah.
She graduated 2010, and she just got an award from the Lowell 5 for Make a Difference Award. For
And
employee
how
excellence.
long ago was that? Was that in the paper recently?
It was in the paper recently, just last week. It was part of part of the business section where they announced different things happening at different businesses.
On a Sunday?
Yes.
On a Sunday? Yeah.
I'll get a copy to each of you, but it was really gratifying to see that the student was still at her co-op job, doing well, receiving an award, while at the same time pursuing her college education. Recently, we had our general advisory meeting, and when we went around to the 24 general advisors around the table, either 2 or 3 of them introduced themselves, and they said what they were doing, and at least 2 of them said that they were still working their co-op job, like 20-something years later. The job that they got on co-op, they're still at currently, and coming back to help the school out as general advisors. So,
Also,
valuable program.
our distinguished alumni this past year started at the Stonehenge.
That's right, He did.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good. So that's the reason why we stress the importance of cooperative education. It's such a valuable program.
Why don't you let you know I was doing my homework?
Appreciate that. The next item on my report, I'm going to ask Assistant Superintendent Principal Jill Davis. Jill did an amazing job bringing Lead the Change, bringing them to the Lowell area. Most importantly, they did 2 unbelievable presentation assemblies to our students, over 1,000 kids in each assembly. Very well received, a very powerful message. Then they then went over to Lowell High, and they did something over there with their students, as well as a community event in the evening. So Jill, thank you for all your hard work in making that happen.
So I'm happy to be here tonight. I'm going to ask you just to look at the screen, just to get some shots of the Lead the Change event. As you know, the Lead the Change event was part of our efforts to raise awareness about the opioid epidemic, which is having a devastating impact on the youth in our community. And I'm happy to say that I believe it was a success, starting here at Greater Lowell with an event in the morning where Jim Wahlberg, Mike Yeba, and Mike Duggan came to Greater Lowell and premiered their film, If Only, to our entire student body. And that was a great success. And then also part of that morning presentation, the Mullen family, which Debbie Mullen is one of an employee here at Greater Lowell. Her family spoke to the entire student body about how the opioid epidemic impacted their family, and they spoke of the loss of their son. And it was just a very, I believe their presentation, speaking about how it impacted them, really had an impact on our students. The audience was silenced, and I think it's important I thought it was important for them to see how this epidemic does not discriminate. It affects all of us in our community. And I am grateful to the Mullen family for being able to share their story with us and the impact that it has. So that was part of the morning presentation. And then in the afternoon, and this is the evening presentation, but also in the afternoon, we brought Jim and Mike over to Lowell High School, where they presented to the Lowell High School students, sort of in a different setting. They actually went into the studio, and the students were able to view through the film through their television monitors and hear Jim introduce his film and speak after in the studio. So all in all, we were able to reach approximately 6,000 students from those two presentations. So that was a great impact on the student population. And then in the evening, Jim so graciously came back to speak at Lowell High School and show his film to the community, which we had a great turnout. And also Louise Griffin, who has formed Zach's team. She is a local parent. Her son actually graduated from Lowell High School, and she lost her son to addiction. So Louise is really instrumental in helping to organize the evening event, and she also spoke. So Louise, Jim Wahlberg, and there was a panel of local officials that spoke, including State Representative Tom Golden, the police chief, Lowell Police Chief, Mr. Taylor was there, the Lowell Mayor was there on this panel. So they also had, took questions from the audience and spoke about what we're doing in our city to help to combat this terrible epidemic. So as you can see by the pictures, I thought it was a very good turnout and a successful event. Yes.
You forgot the district attorney was there.
Oh, district attorney, yes,
Yeah,
district
Ryan,
attorney.
which is a
Marion,
fantastic feat
yes.
in itself.
And, yes, and initially she was unable to come because she had an out-of-town appointment, but that was canceled. So we sort of called her back and said, since your appointment was canceled, can you please come? And she was willing to come. So we thought that was
great,
nice
yeah.
of her to support us. Included in this event in the evening were resources. There were resource tables. As you can see, Lowell House, Lowell Health Department, Trinity Ambulance was there, and they did Narcan training along with Lowell House. So we had a lot of support from our community resources available to parents. Also, there was this bedroom exhibit, which helped parents to detect addiction, which with Tewksbury Police Department, along with our own Project Purple students who presented this exhibit to parents. That was another great part of the evening. Also, part of the evening, I have to say thank you to our Skills USA officers who were present in their new warm-up jackets, who helped to escort people who came to attend the event to their seats and greet people in the lobby. So that was nice of them to support our event as well. And those were the highlights of the event. And I just would like to thank these special people, Louise Griffin and Zach's team, who was really instrumental in helping to organize this event, the Mullen family for sharing their story, Mrs. Sarmento in the graphics department, Kristen Fody, who helped us set up the event in the lecture hall, Mrs. Fisher and the Project Purple students here at Greater Lowell, Skills USA officers, Chad Fallon, Sarah Conlang from the Lowell Police Department, and Chief Taylor, who were instrumental when I had the opportunity to meet the chief and speak to him. Upon that first conversation, he said, anything you need, just let me know, and he really helped us to organize the event. Peter Sang from Lowell Public Health, Louis Diaz from Lowell House, who organized the Narcan training, Maria Ruggiero from the Tewksbury Police Department, who is hidden in plain sight, who worked with our Project Purple students, Lowell Circle Health for allowing us the opportunity to obtain the grants, and we were able to have an event like this and continue to raise awareness for our students and our community members. In Trinity Emergency Medical Services for supporting the event as well. I also like to thank all of you for supporting me and supporting this school to help raise awareness in the community. It is an epidemic, it is devastating, and I just want to leave with this thought of how powerful of an epidemic it is. In the month of October, in the city of Lowell, there were 61 opiate overdoses, 2 deaths per day. It is a serious problem, and we should continue to raise awareness, and we will here at Greater Lowell. We're embedding things in our curriculum to help our students continue to be able to make healthy choices and hopefully organize some other events in the future to continue to raise awareness. And again, thank you for your support.
Thank you. Mr. Espinola?
Joe, yes, there was many of us that were at attendance that night. It was a very powerful and gripping presentation. With regards to the night program, there were many other cities and towns represented in the audience from whatever way that they were able to find out about it. And they were very impressed by it. And someone had asked me, how come we can't get this in our town? I reached out to you, and you were gracious enough to start the ball rolling. And I'm eager to say that I've been in touch with both camps, Jim Wahlberg as well as Louise Griffin, and we hope to have this presentation in Drake sometime after the holidays. And it's things like this that get the balls rolling. It gets infectious, pardon the pun, but people say, you know what, that's probably a great presentation, whatever. So I give all the kudos in the world to you and all the people that were involved in bringing this and bringing this out to the open and making these types of educational experiences available to not only the Greater Lowell community here at the school, but other cities and towns, and I appreciate that, and especially the people in my town.
So I just want to say, in regards to reaching out to other towns, I did send letters to all of our sending town police departments, to all principals at the high schools. Mr. Fallon also went into the middle schools and dropped off flyers, so we did do a lot of advertising and promoting to the local districts. And the Lowell Police Department helped us get the word out into the communities, to local community resources.
When I spoke to Louise Griffin, she couldn't believe how many people were there at that night presentation.
So it was.
She was very impressed by how many people that were there.
So it was good. I'm glad.
Jill, what you did was you created something that snowballed. You wanted to go ahead and have our student body, see the movie of If Only that was made by Jim Wahlberg, and then Jim Wahlberg spoke, and then you had somebody right here on staff give them their heartfelt, real difficult story of what this epidemic has done to their lives. You've worked very hard. I want to congratulate you on that. I know nobody wants congratulations when it's about something like this, but I know that it's ongoing effort. You've spoken to me personally about how you're teaching it in health classes now, and how it's going to be an ongoing effort that the students will constantly hear about this, because the whole idea is turning away students, and the best way to do it is through proper education. So I just want to commend you, and I want to thank you for stepping up and identifying this very difficult situation that's happening in our city. And I can't thank you enough for it.
Thank you. Thank you all again for your support.
And the next item on my report is just a reminder that a week from today, we will be hosting the Thanksgiving Day game against Shawshene. It'll begin with a breakfast from 8 to 9:30 for the senior parents of the players and the cheerleaders on both teams, as well as any staff members from the school or school committee members that are able to attend. Followed by the game at 10:15. So right here at Greater Lowell Tech. So.
And at that point, I just want to say something like, our football team really stepped it up this year. They were 0-7 the previous year. They were 1-7. 2 years ago, they were 0-7. They were 1-7.
They were 0-11 2 years ago, and they were 1-10 last year.
So
And this year, they're now 7-3. It's incredible.
it tells you what, kids that want to come together and staff that wants to come together to go ahead and develop what this program is, which is education and athletics and co-op opportunities is something that we really have to grab onto, identify with, and know that as we support our student body and our varsity football team, for this time, that we make this school so much better. So, thanks for all this great stuff that's happening here at Greater Lowell Tech, and congratulations to our varsity football team for, being there this whole season.
Fred, excuse me.
Mr.
I
O'Hare.
agree with everything you said, but let's not forget, we had a couple of other teams this year also in tournaments at the end of the year. And I think not only football, but football I thought was the greatest improvement, but the other teams showing that since you came here, Mr. Superintendent, all our athletic teams have changed. So you've brought something good in that field. Thank you very much.
I wish I could take credit for it, but it's our coaches and our AD, under Jill's leadership as well. We're just really happy that, kids are having fun. Our soccer team made the state tournament. Our girls volleyball team made the state tournament. Our football team still has one more game to go. We're hoping to be 8-3 at the end. But it should be a great game. Our boys cross country not only won the league, but they also won the state folk meet. So really some great things happening, both on the athletic fields, Skills USA, the clubs that we have. We're really, a lot of great things happen. It's very easy to come to work every morning.
Mr. Booton.
As we just went over the co-op education report and the sports teams we were just talking about, what type of accommodations does a school make? Is there anything to help the kids if they have a co-op and it interferes with sports?
Yeah, Stacy Bazanson, our co-op coordinator, works really hard with both student athletes and co-op employers to navigate whatever those hardships might be. So the vast majority of our co-op employers are very understanding. If the student wants to work co-op and leave early to be able to get here for practice, they're very accommodating, and we're able to do that. Some students prefer to come off co-op for the season because they want to focus on the season, and then they go back on co-op after the season's over. So yeah, we work through those issues on an individual basis, and for the most part, by and large, we're able to make accommodations that work for both the employer and our students.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome. The last item on my report is, as I did a year ago, I'm going to request travel outside of New England to attend the Professional Learning Communities at Work Institute. The nearest one this summer is in Atlanta, Georgia. It's from July 19th to the 21st. The costs are very similar. It's a little bit more expensive because we've got some plane fare rather than being able to take the vans as we were to go to Syracuse. But I would like permission to be able to start letting staff know that this opportunity is available so that they can, we can get them signed up and we can prepare to go for a second year of growth with our Professional Learning Communities at Work initiative.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Moran, seconded by Mr. Espinola.
I just have a question. This is just a motion to, like, how many people, do we know?
Yeah,
the-
I'm just
the
asking,
cost yet or
I'm
whatever?
asking, yeah, so last year what I asked you for was up to 30 people.
Okay.
And that's what I'm asking you again, up to 30 now. If we don't have 30 that are interested in going, then it'll be a lesser number. But if we do, last year we were able to get the whole 30 to go. That's what we're hoping for again this year, but I'm just asking for up to 30.
Mr. Booton?
We don't have a price, though, of what the airfare is going to be on top of this?
The airfare,
I didn't see it.
the airfare right now, if we were to book it, Spirit is running a round trip for $256. So that would be the low end of what the airfare, we can't book it now because that's one of the reasons I'm asking for approval now so that we can get
Started
people,
on it.
yeah, get people recruited that they want to go, and then they can book their airfares. So I would say the airfare will run anywhere from, $260 to $350-ish.
And do we pay for meals on top of that?
We do, there's a.
Reimburse their meals?
No, we don't reimburse. There's a $60 a day allowance for 3 days for people that are going on the trip. That's been the practice for many years.
Just one more question. It says, I read it seems like a very interesting daily structure
Yeah.
of routines. I'm really impressed by it. And I noticed that it says there's a tuition fee of 5 or more. I was kind of, is it, if you take 30 people there, is that all the tuition's gonna be? If you look at it, it's right on the corner. It says 5 or more.
That's the price. If
That's
you
the price,
register 5 or more.
5 or more.
They reduce the.
Okay,
price.
on each
goes-
one,
yeah,
okay.
they give
Well, I
you
didn't see
20
the initial cost.
You get a
if you
$20 discount if there's more
Okay.
than 5 people. So we get the $649 rate
Okay.
rather than the $669.
Okay, Mr. Booton?
One small item, I think if you wait till the following week, it'll actually be the hottest week down in Atlanta that you could go.
It's not about comfort, it's about learning.
Absolutely.
I kind of, excuse me.
Mr. Moran?
I kind of think personally, the other one was a little more localized. Some of them went in their own vehicles, correct? And, so maybe, we might be looking at 15 or 20. I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is a little more difficult to get to. And we've got 30 people that went last year. So, I'm optimistic that there's gonna be a good turnout for it.
Now, are you looking for the same people to go?
No, I think what we want is we want new people to experience it, so I think that we're gonna open it up to new people first. And if we do not find 30 people, then we would open it up to people that wanna go for a second time.
Same administrators or different administrators?
It would be, yeah, we're hoping to bring a team of, except for myself, everybody else would be going for the first time. That, the idea is for more people in the building to experience this. But if it doesn't fill, let's say we have 20 new people that want to go, then we would open it up. Are there any people that went last year that would like to go? And would fill it that way. That's the plan.
Okay.
And not only do we want new people to go, we also want new people, we want a diverse cross-section, so we'd like to get a couple of people from every, like we did last year, a couple of people from every department, some younger teachers, some middle career teachers, some veteran teachers. We want to try and also get a good mix of people going as well. That's the plan, yeah. It was tremendously successful. Well, you heard Mr. Albert and Sarah Wilkie express how and Sarah was very powerful in that she said that it changed the way she teaches. It changed what happens in her classroom. So it's the best professional development that I'm aware of that's out there.
Sure, and just one comment, our professional staff has really grown, just by going to this event, just this past year in Syracuse, and you could see it because of everything that's happening within our student body. It seems like everybody is working together and everything is motioning forward. So if, we could have an investment like this and keep our staff moving forward, which keeps our school moving forward, which keeps our student body, moving forward and preparing themselves for the future, then this is, I think, a very good investment.
Yeah, it pays huge dividends. It does.
Roll call.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes?
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gidi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
And that's my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now a report of our business manager, Ms. Turner.
I'm not very good at microphones, but I have 3 short updates. At the last meeting, we voted to implement the OPEB trust or establish the OPEB trust. We need to identify 5 members now. And as listed on this sheet, that would be the district school business administrator, me, the district treasurer, 1 member of the school committee, and then the school committee needs to determine who the other 2 people would be. Usually they have a superintendent. So if we could do that today, could we?
Okay, sure. I'm sure we can put a motion on the floor to go ahead and develop this, this OPEB trust, trustee grouping. So
Yes.
if we could have a motion by Mr. Tatsias and seconded by Mr. Bruton to develop this trustee program, that I think would work well.
Okay.
Any questions? Nope.
So you need to, you want them to put the appointees in the motion?
Why don't we table this till the next meeting, and you can
Okay.
come up with the committee
Right.
as the chairman?
So you have to
Like any other
identify the
committee.
5.
Well, I think we can vote on it right now, and then by the next meeting, we could have all our trustees. Do we have to have our trustees at this exact moment? I mean,
No.
we already know that there's
We-
at least 3 of them.
We
know
don't
that-
have to do this at this exact moment.
Right.
It's
We just a reminder.
Just to keep it moving forward, I think that if I may, the superintendent is an ex officio member unless the committee decides to make the superintendent a permanent member, in which case, you'd only have to find one other member. So in essence, you need one school committee member. If you decide to have me be a member, then you could have another school committee member, and you could have 2 school committee members. Or you can let me be ex officio. You can have, 3 school committee members as your members, or you can go into, bring people from outside the committee to sit on this, whatever you're, and between now and, the next meeting, you can figure that out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's a good idea.
Okay, Mr. Gigi.
Does the school committee member that's on the board have to have less than 2 years left on his term? That's what it looks like.
It seems like the school committee member is right. Will be a member for not more than 2 years. It doesn't indicate whether they have to have 2 years on their term or not. Mr. O'Hare.
Just a procedural question. If we could, we're going to bring all this into the next meeting, because I think there was the issue of, making motions known. So if we waited to the next meeting, we could cover the whole thing rather than just making a motion now. Is that legal?
We don't need a motion for this to form it.
And why don't we need it?
already voted to form the trust. What we need now is now the trustees to be named. And so that can be at the next meeting.
Yeah.
This is on the agenda, under
Member
the
of the
school business
district.
administrator, and it said possible votes, in case we needed to take votes.
Okay, no, I'm not, I just thought we could not vote.
It's
We would
on-
have to post,
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda?
Right, it's on our agenda, Mr.
It's
O'Hare.
on the agenda to vote.
So anyway, Mr. Espinoli, you have a question?
I would like to make a motion that we table this to the next meeting to let the committee members process the committee and the makeup of the committee. And as the other committees are formed by the chairperson with input from the committeemen, I think that, it's not going to hurt to wait another few weeks to put a committee together. And then I don't know if it needs a vote to have a committee, but if you establish a committee like the other subcommittees, I don't know, but at least we'll know at the next meeting, and you'll have some discussions with other school committee members.
Right, we don't need a motion.
Okay, so we've developed the OPEB trust, we know that. And we know that we're gonna go ahead and develop a trustee committee that will represent the school with that OPEB trust. So if we would like to, if the committee so desires to table this till the next meeting, I'm sure we can progress with that and move to the very next item on the agenda.
Okay. We have 2 more updates. One is that we're in the full swing of developing the FY17 budget. Today was the final day for the cluster chairs to enter their budgets into the Munis system. We're going to start our meetings next week looking at their priorities and what they want to change. We've already let them know that we're looking at a level funded budget at best, so to really be aware of that. And the other update I wanted to share with you is the procurement. We're going out to bid for both our HVAC systems, the maintenance and control contract, and for our transportation contract. We had 3 years and 2 option years that we've already used. So we're going out to bid for the transportation contract as well. So both are being done in December. I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Espinola.
During the bid process, how is it routinely done? Is it just an advertisement, or do we solicit people to encourage them to bid, or how does it work?
So from what I understand historically here, you do your invitations for bids, which means we develop specs. We get input from the, the people that are relevant. For instance, in the with the transportation bid, we take the bid from the last time we did it. We speak to people and see that we've increased the number of buses we need and all that. We advertise, in the local newspaper after we get the specs developed and, is that what I want to be clear what you're asking? Yes, we go out
Well,
to
there's an
advertise.
invitation and there's an advertising bid
No, we do
process.
advertise it, and then we let them know the packets are available here. We don't, I'm not aware of any, notifications to other people, like a list of previous people. I'm not aware of them doing that.
Because some contracts, the companies are certified by the state or whoever, could be DTA in this instance, talking about the buses. And you can send a contract out to all the people that are certified. I'm not even sure if that's the way it goes, but
Right.
that's why I was just asking.
Well, the good thing about that is I'm actually working with the business manager from Minuteman Tech who went out to bid last year, and he's sharing his procedures with me. So I'll ask him that question and make sure that we're not missing a step.
Just so that we get the broadest group that we can to pick from.
Absolutely.
Not that the bus transportation
My-
company
my-
was pretty good, from what I understand.
My previous experience is that we develop the specs, we put them out, we advertise all that, and we also go and look at, who would be vendors that might be interested in this, and then just send it to them to let them know that it's on the street as well. Because the idea is to get as much competition for the bid as possible, so
That's basically what
Yeah.
my crux
I
of
believe
that
that
was.
that's what we'll be doing.
Okay.
That's a sealed bid.
Yes. These are all done in accordance with the procurement law. Very strict regulations that we have to follow.
Okay, any more questions? Thank you, Ms. Turner.
Thank you.
Okay,
Very good first meeting
is there anything under old business?
by yourself.
Okay, we have some outstanding items from previous meetings. Seems like everything's just at standstill right now. There are 3 of those items. And just to reiterate, we took a vote to go into successor agreement session for our superintendent, and we could possibly have a vote after our meeting. Next item would be, is there anything under new business? Okay, it seems like there is not, and there's no committeeman motions tonight. And report of subcommittees, the approval of the October 15 Greater Lowell Technical High School building report. Motion to approve by Mr. Moran, seconded by Mr. O'Hare.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes?
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. And change order, I'll entertain a motion for change order number 13 of $9,824.07 by Mr. Booton, seconded by Mr. O'Hare.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes?
Mr. Moran? Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Let's do the others.
Okay, also, there's a change order of up to $896,000, $896,929 for the use of our swing space for the Aramac facility. Motion by Mr. Booton, second by Mr. O'Hare.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes?
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Also, a change order for $107,525 for some HVAC repairs and upgrades. Motion by Mr. Tatsias, second by Mr. O'Hare.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes?
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. And lastly, a change order for $48,000 so that we can have a representative of our building project stay 4 months longer, so that we can complete this project and move it forward. Motion by Mr. Tatsias, second by Mr. Moran.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes?
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. And if there could be a motion for a recess.
We just need, You don't need a motion.
Oh, okay, then we'll take a 10-minute recess.
Will there could be possible votes afterwards?
That's correct.
Yes.
10-minute recess. Okay.
Mr. Bahu?
Here. Okay, we just had a discussion with the superintendent and the school committee, and we concluded to go ahead and take a vote to see if the superintendent will agree to a 3-year contract with us, so we'll put this on the school committee first. I'd like to entertain a motion to have the superintendent get an extension contract for 3 years. Motion by Mr. Booton, seconded by Mr. Tatsias. Roll call?
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Superintendent, would you accept that 3-year contract that we offer to you?
Yes.
Okay, happy days. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard again.
Thank you all very much.
Keep up the good work.
Motion to adjourn, anybody? Motion to adjourn by Mr. Booton, second by Mr. O'Hare. Roll call.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Amen.